Let's start with the challenge side, Terry. So for those that are not aware, a challenge is oftentimes like a 3-day event. It can be like 2 hours of live classes for 3 days straight, as an example. Generally, it's popular to have either like a 3-day or a 7-day challenge. We do challenges in a way, in like a kind of sneaky way. Like I wouldn't even really call them a challenge. But for our low ticket products, when we launch YouTube for CEOs, we have a 3-day like live session that we do. And there's like an hour and a bit over 3 days. So hour, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, we give them a ton of value and we say, oh, I want you to go and put in your calendar the date that you're gonna film and publish your first YouTube video. The Thursday, we give them more value, helping them conceptualize that video, helping them go and come up with their title, their thumbnail, all that. Friday, we're kind of hammering that in even more. And then we're sort of soft pitching them Founder OS Plus. Okay, so they've bought a low ticket product for $199. We've delivered all this curriculum. We're giving, as part of that, a 3 hours over 3 days of like these live value. And then the third day, we're kind of pitching them for like 10 minutes, Founder OS Plus, and getting them to apply if they're interested. So I'm just explaining that. That's kind of an example of a challenge at Founder OS. We do these once every quarter off the backs of these low ticket for CEO products that we have. So last quarter we did YouTube for CEOs. This quarter we'll probably do Instagram for CEOs and just keep that series going. So Terry, when it comes to your sort of offer, is it like that sort of challenge or are you thinking something different?
Slightly different. So, but what sparked the idea is in the high ticket space, I'm seeing a lot of people doing 3-5-day challenges and it's working out for them. It's like basically rules 9 hours of consumption before someone converts to a paid customer. So that got my head spinning around this topic. What I'm more interested in is if the challenge stuff is working, instead of doing that 3-day challenge and then selling them something, I'm thinking about, since I'm talking about my personal brand, thinking about what if I created a movement? And so I have written down a 90-day challenge as a freemium offer that takes them from point A to point Z, let's say. Massive value, obviously, because it's a long challenge, but it also creates a movement. And I guess the closest challenge I can think of that's maybe close to this is like 75 Hard. Mm-hmm. And just sparks the movement and it creates that personal brand. And I just wanted like your take, maybe a breakdown, pros and cons of this being ideal or not. And then it would lead to, I wouldn't sell anything. I would just promote my book when I launch my book. And that's kind of the only strategy I have.
When does the book come out?
The book would come out in December. And until then, I was thinking of just doing these 90-day challenges. Maybe I'll be able to fit in just 2 for Q3 and Q4.
Yeah.
But they can start at any time. I take that back. The challenge is like 75 Hard. You could just do it at any time.
Yeah, I think it sounds like it's a marketing campaign to some extent, right? Like it's one of many marketing options you could take. And I think it's definitely a very, very involved one, for the amount of time you could do this 90-day challenge thing. I think you're gonna have to deliver on, like you could do like 200 pieces of content or more. So just being careful that, like, does this strategically really make sense, right? Because this could be quite the investment of your time and your effort. And would you just be better spent like focusing that amount of effort on like making the best book and marketing campaign around the book ever existed, And if this is part of it, cool, then do that maybe when it's closer to launch, right? As like a thing, like buy the book and get access to this. So it's like it feels more exclusive versus like you're just ripping these 90-day things. There's not really like some end goal, something. It's going to create a movement, but there's no like the movement's not even totally created quite yet. Like it is, but it isn't, it's still in development. The book's still coming out. Like I just would worry that it could just be a massive distraction if it's not timed right. I would want the timing to be timed with like some greater thing, as an example, the book launch, right? Get access to this. If you buy the book now in the pre-sale, then you're in this thing. You're rallying people around it. The book's coming out and it's like, it feels more weighty that way. And like, okay, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Based on how you're saying it right now, to me, I wouldn't do that. It doesn't sound like a no-brainer.
Sahil Bloom did the similar kind of thing. So check it out. Sahil
Bloom. Yeah. Yeah.
What challenge did he launch? It's similar, basically. He went through, it's like a 90-day kind of program, but just before the launch.
Yep.
So people can basically, whoever is buying in advance, they're all enrolled into that once, free of cost, and then basically help them.
Yeah, something about challenge, something about movements like 75 Hard. There's people that are doing it that don't even know who Andy is. And that's what I find fascinating. It's like the movement, like you launch this thing and it kind of creates its own movement, so to speak.
Yeah, but I just think with all these things, the devil's in the details, and you got to really research, like, and I don't have that research, by the way, but like, where did this thing come from?
Yeah.
Like, what's the genesis? Where did it come from? I know all about it. I've done it. I'm aware of 75 Hard, but I'd be curious to know, like, I mean, Andy Frisella's got, I think, one of the top 20 podcasts in America. So like, that's probably something, right? That like keeps it going, right? And keeps, like, I'm sure they mention it here and there. A guest comes on like, oh man, I discovered you from 75 Hard. It's like, boom, there's another influx of people, right? So there's more going on there behind this, just like this movement keeps spreading, you know? It's like, yeah, there's this massive distribution engine to it, and he's making a shit ton of revenue from supplements and stuff. So maybe he's determined that people buy supplements when they're on 75 Hard, and there is actually a bit of a profit motive to it.
Oh, for sure.
In a good way. So I would kind of really draw that out in like, what's that overarching plan versus just embarking on something at such a high investment?